would you do if a rich kid started bullying you at school? It was the beginning of the new semester, and for the first time, Jake felt like he didn't fit in. He wasn't the smartest kid in class, nor was he the most athletic, but he was pretty good at making friends. That is, until he met Brad, the new kid with the most expensive shoes, the latest phone, and a swagger that screamed confidence. Brad wasn't just rich, he had that aura of entitlement that made people either love him or hate him, and for Jake, it was the latter. From the first day Brad arrived, he made it clear he wasn't interested in friendships unless you could do something for him and Jake. Well, Jake didn't have anything Brad wanted. At first, it started small. Brad would comment on Jake's old backpack, the one that had seen better days. "Does your mom still buy your school supplies from that discount store?" He'd say loud enough for everyone to hear, making Jake feel embarrassed. Jake tried to ignore it. He wasn't going to let Brad's arrogance get to him, but then it escalated. One afternoon during lunch, Brad and his friends surrounded Jake's table laughing about how poor kids like him would never understand what it's like to have everything handed to you. They called him names, mocked his clothes, and made sure everyone in the cafeteria knew Jake didn't belong in their world. Jake was used to teasing, but this was different. This wasn't just teasing, it was bullying, and for the first time, Jake wasn't sure what to do. He felt trapped in his own school, surrounded by people who either ignored what was happening or joined in with Brad. But there was one thing Jake didn't expect. His best friend Mike, who had been a quiet, loyal sidekick for years, finally stood up. "Brad, knock it off," Mike said, stepping between them. "You're not better than anyone just because you have money." Brad smirked and waved it off, but something had shifted. Mike had taken a stand. That simple act of resistance gave Jake a spark of courage. He knew he couldn't let Brad keep walking all over him, but he also didn't want to become like Brad, someone who used others to feel important. The next day, Jake came to school with a new attitude. Instead of sitting quietly and taking Brad's insults, he stood tall and looked him straight in the eyes. "I may not have your money or your stuff, Brad," Jake said, his voice steady, "but I have something you'll never have: respect. And that's more valuable than all your fancy gadgets." Brad was taken aback. He wasn't used to people talking back to him, especially not someone he'd been tormenting. The tension between them grew, but Jake didn't back down. He knew that in the long run, he didn't need to fight fire with fire. Standing his ground without stooping to Brad's level was enough to make a statement. From that day forward, Brad's bullying didn't stop overnight, but it started to lose its power. Jake's confidence grew, and with it the support of his friends. He realized that being himself was far more important than trying to impress anyone. By standing up for himself, he taught Brad and everyone else that no one deserves to be treated as less than anyone else, no matter their background or how much money they have. And for Jake, that was a victory no amount of money could buy.